after church because that's where all the aunts and uncles are. And the first question is, so how long have you known her? How did you get to know her? Where do you meet? And then after was worse because your aunts and they would just talk all the time and they were all in your business. And even after you broke up with this girl, they were all talking about her. She was such a nice girl. And it's my own thing, and I only had a little bit of experience in this, but if you don't like people being in your business sometimes, you say, this is the worst place ever to be. And I had trouble with that because I didn't grasp the idea of partners. It wasn't until I moved up here to Minnesota that I clued into the idea that partners are great. In that area, I just chafed under the idea that everybody was interested in what I was doing. But I had lost sight of the idea that there were people that were genuinely invested in me succeeding in life. They wanted to make sure that this person that I wanted to get to know better was going to be good for me, that it was going to have the best chance of succeeding. My aunts and uncles loved me even because of the things that I had caused heartache in their heads, all the trouble that I had caused. They knew me so well, and they had those questions, and they were unified behind me making it in life. That was more than just one strand. It was all of my aunts and uncles wanted me to succeed. I needed partners, and we all do. But I don't want to throw the whole idea of many strands off the side and say it's only about unity and aunts and uncles. It's a perfect idea of how Christ, when he is a part of a partnership, is an amazing thing. The strength of Christ in a relationship gives purpose to a relationship. It's a huge thing to have Christ in a partnership. He is so invested in us succeeding in life. And it is important for us to remember that. Without him being there, sometimes the purpose gets thrown off all to the side. It may be that some partnerships will unravel, but they're not easily broken when Christ is a part of that. Faith Church wants to live with partners. We have the vision of living in community, living out the story. And if we're going to talk about community, we have to talk about partners. Partners. How are partners set up here at Faith Church? How are we setting up partnerships outside of Faith Church so people might come to know Jesus? Partners. We think of the cadet program. We talk about men, partners with boys that they can grow them up to be strong men of God. Where else does that happen in our church? I know that happens with the Gems. Is there other places that we have that? Do we have older people that say, you know what? I've got things that I can contribute to these young kids, that I can make partners. Do we have small groups where people are saying, I am committed to you and to this group. I am committed, I am invested in your success as a person. We talk about group life, and at one time there was 50% of the church was involved in small groups. And I don't know the number right now. And it's not the idea that it has to be small groups. The idea is as many strands as possible, tied together, committed to the success of each person. That unity is what we're looking for. Aloneness, it's a miserable business. Partnerships are clearly better. But how does one find a person? How does someone find a person? Even if you're just in here, you're saying, how do I find a partner? A deeper friendship. I know there's a lot of ways, but I listed a couple ways that might be helpful. If you're looking for that partnership, that another strand in life to be that deeper friendship, here's a couple ideas. Ask God for a partner. Now, this sounds like a no-brainer. I know it's like, what? Never thought of that before. But if God knows us that deeply, He also knows who's going to be a great partner, a deeper friendship He's got for us. The tough part is that do we trust in God's timing? Do we trust that God knows what He's doing? Our patience sometimes runs ahead of our trust. Like, oh, come on, God. I've been waiting for a partner here. Come on, let's get going here. And we don't figure out that He's got it under control. A different one. Second one is, it has more to do with us. The first one was God's part, that He knows us. He knows what we need. That's God's part. What about our part? Second one is to be comfortable with us first. If you're not content with who you are as a person, when you get into a partnership, you are not going to be a great match for somebody else. It's just not going to work. You know, nobody wants to be around somebody that hates who they are. It comes down to the part of saying, I got to figure out who God made me to be. Not all of us are tall, dark, and handsome people that have it all got together. And it's not me. I don't have it all together. I just have to be comfortable with who I am and who God has made me to be. It doesn't matter your size. It doesn't matter your personality. It doesn't matter your education level. To be comfortable with who God made you to be. Be comfortable with who we are. Third one is to be a partner to other people. To remember that a partnership involves other people. It's not just about us. If you're looking for a partner, a deeper friendship, go to a group where there's other people and be interested in them, just to listen to them and hear them talk. It's a dangerous thing to start off just talking about yourself all the time, even though we love to do it. Listen to other people. We're going to have luncheon this afternoon where there's people. This is great. We're sitting around tables. We get eaten. That's great stuff. I saw the dessert table. Oh, my goodness. Even if you're just coming from the dessert, that's worth it. But there's other people that we have no idea who they are yet, just to ask them questions and start some friendships. Who knows where those lead and what God has got in store for us? There's luncheons, January and February, in March. We try to have one a month or so just because they are awesome times that people get together and start some friendship building to make some partners in life. Here's a fourth one. It's same-gender partners. And this might be a shock to some of us, but guys and girls are just different. Maybe it goes without saying, but it needs to be reiterated there. We are wired different. We just think differently. We are just crazily different. God has made us wonderfully different that way. There was the movie When Harry Met Sally, where the guy says, guys and women can never be friends because the guys are always thinking differently after a while. And I don't know if that's totally true. But I would recommend finding a good, deep friendship, a good partner who is your same gender, and to cut out all the other extra weirdness that gets involved in making that. And just a side note here, and this is just an extra. If you are married and you have someone of the opposite gender that you tell things that you can't tell your spouse, that should be one of those red flags. That should not be your partner. If you have that person that you look forward to finding ways you can arrange your day so that you can talk with them maybe by the copy machine,